Hi, my name is Joe Vermontes, and I'm a practicing vascular surgeon here in Eugene, Oregon. And today I want to talk to you about how to make this custom HEPA style filter that can be sanitized and reused, that is designed to be used in conjunction with this washable, reusable surgical style mask. So I want to start off with what the items that you'll need before we get started. So the first thing is you need to go and buy your filter. And the one that I have been using and found helpful is this entire home high efficiency filter. And I briefly talked about the rating before, but you want something with an FPR of 10 or higher, or a MERV of 13 or higher. Those are kind of the general ones that you'll be able to find out there. But in addition to your filter, you're gonna need a ruler, and some heavy duty shears or scissors. I recommend a bunch of these binder clips, at least 3 of them. You'll need a marking pen or a Sharpie, and then a glue gun. So once you've gotten those items, I'll pause for a minute. And I do want to mention very briefly that my suggestion is that you don't make the surgical mask before you find out the size that you need for the HEPA filter, because we can work backwards on the sizing, and it'll just be easier to work in that direction. So start with the HEPA filter, get that all done, figure out what size you are, and then again, I'll have a video to talk about how you make those adjustments on the measurements. All right. Okay, step 1 is, what I recommend is that you cut out just a single piece of your filter. I would recommend for the first one that you cut out a 7 by 7 inch piece of the filter. And once you've done that, then the very next thing to do is grab your glue gun and put a thin layer of glue along the entire edge of this. And the reason for that is, I've learned this the hard way, is that the edges of where you've cut the filter expose the aluminum frame, and this is very sharp, and you'll cut yourself. I know that because it happened to me. So I started putting this little thin rim of glue along the edges. So go ahead and do that. Okay, step 2 is once you've put your glue along the filter, is to start measuring it on your face. And so if you wear glasses, I recommend that you remove them for this part. So lay your filter up on top of the bridge of your nose. This should be kind of flat against your nose, and then kind of pinch the top, and you want it to lay perfectly on your nose so that it's not going to move, okay? And so then you'll want to pinch that. And then the next thing you do is you'll just get one of those small clips, and you'll put that on there. And then again, dry fit it again, and make sure that it's fitting, high up on your nose, because you don't want it to move. So once you've done that, then the next thing you do is that you may need some help with this, but you'll want to trace out how you want the filter to lay along your cheekbone, because obviously this part is obstructing your vision. So as you can see here, I kind of put my mark here of how I want it to lay across my cheekbone, so that when it's being pushed against my face, it's providing maximal coverage to this area. Okay, so, and you don't have to do it on both sides. I'm just using this as just to show you. Once you have that, then you'll fold it in half, and all you have to do is cut along the line on one side. And you'll definitely need these heavy-duty shears to do that, because you're cutting through some wire. All right. So the next thing you do, you'll have something that looks like this. So you can see that this has been cut, and we'll start again molding it to your face. So again, you'll make sure that it's kind of cut along the cheekbone, and again, it should be laying in front of your face. Pinch the top, and then put your clip again. Put that small clip. Okay. So now you have this. So the next step is that you'll start folding it like a sandwich along the cheek. You'll want maximal coverage under the cheek. So you start flattening the sides like this. And you're gonna almost want to be like you're pinching your own skin. That's how close you want it, because you want this as tight as possible against your face so that there's no breaks in the seals. And because of the wire in the mesh, it really holds its shape. So once I've done that, then again, you got your clips. And I want you to put your clips on there. So now I've got 3 clips on there. Is again, dry fit it. And make sure that it's sitting there, it's not moving. And kind of one of the tests is that I want you to open your mouth and that it's not breaking the seal while you're holding it, because the mask, the surgical mask, is going to hold it against your face. And you should be able to talk and move your jaw easily without breaking a seal. Okay, again, here's kind of that dry fit. You want to make sure that it's sealing all the way around as well. All right, so the next step is, so now you have something that should look like this. All right, and what I want you to do is starting on one of these corners, is take off the clip, and I want you to bend this triangle inward. I'm sorry, bend this corner inward so that it looks something like this. And again, kind of mold it in there. And then put your clip again. So you can see how that's looking. And you'll do the same thing on this side. All right, so now you have something that looks like this. So you're getting pretty close. So again, dry fit that. And sometimes what you have to do is kind of use your hand to expand the mask inward so you have more room to breathe. So, use your hand and kind of open that up. All right, so now you've got your mask. You got to make sure that it fits on there. So what I recommend, just to make sure it's a good fit, is kind of use your hand to hold it against your face. And that's what the surgical mask eventually will do, is hold that against your face and see if you have any gaps anywhere. You really shouldn't have any gaps. So feel all the way around. Okay, once you're happy with that, then, and you know this is going to be what you need, what I recommend is that you stop at this point and go make yourself a template of this. So now you know that what size you need, whether it's 7-inch, 6.5 inch, 7.5 inch, whatever it is, go make a master copy of this, because you don't want to have to do this each and every time. All right, so go do that. Okay, after you've made your master, now you're going to go ahead and complete this one. And so the very first thing that I would recommend is that starting on one side, leave the nose piece till the very end. I'll show you what we'll do there. Starting on one side is to open up the inside here, and what you want to do is start gluing that. And don't touch the metal part to the fabric, because it will stick to it. You just want to lay a rim of glue at the crease and then also along the edge. And be careful with this. Don't put too much glue. You just want to kind of to hold it in place in the beginning. So once you've applied your glue, then again, what I recommend is to apply your clip again and let it dry and hold in place there. So you'll want to do that for both sides. So sit it to the side, wait the minute or two, let it dry. And then what I would do is recommend that you come back and then you glue the edges. You want to put a little thin rim of glue to make it, to really seal the mask. You don't want air to be flowing through these gaps, okay? So you got that. You'll do both sides. All right, so assuming that you've done that, then what I would recommend is that on the inside of your mask that you use a Sharpie and you mark both ends where it folds in. And the reason for that is that what I found was that if I were to glue this just on the inside, it distorted how it laid on my nose. So what I recommend is that you again put your mark there, open that up, and put glue behind your marks, and then again close it and use your clip and then let it dry in that location, because now you know it's going to be like you dry fitted it before. Okay, so then you'll let that dry, and now you should have something that looks pretty close to this. Now, the only difference between what I showed you earlier in this is that I decided to glue a strip of this 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch bias tape all the way around. And you can get that at the fabric store. You can make your own. Just get some cotton fabric, cut it 3/4 of an inch, and then just glue it on the side. And the reason I did that is to give the mask more rigidity. All right. And then again, the final fit is you're going to want to hold it against your face. You should be able to just use one finger to hold it and then test that there's no gaps. Shouldn't be any gaps all the way around. And remember, once this is in the mask, it's going to push it against your face with the nose piece. You'll have a perfect fit. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to have some additional videos about how you sanitize this and how you cycle them and wash them so that you can keep safe, and those are to follow. I also have a revised version of how to make the surgical mask a little bit easier without the pleats. It's not as pretty, but it'll do the trick. All right, talk to you soon.